should automatically be live on YouTube.
Ah, there we go.
Are we live,
All right,
Brandon?
all right. We're live. We're good to go.
Are you sure we're live, tech guy?
Yes, we got it.
Okay.
We got it.
All right. Is anybody in here waiting for us, or did they all leave because it took us 24 minutes to get going?
We had 2 to start. Okay. We're back. We're back.
All right. We are back. Oh my gosh, that was the biggest train wreck of a tech support we've ever had.
Yeah, we're going to get there. It's sooner, just more practice. We're going to get it.
I like it. So what, let me see. I'm switching my phone upside down, but it doesn't want to let me do that. I'm in the gym right here. You guys can see doing some stuff. Brandon is in his standard room. What questions did you get from anybody this week?
I didn't get any questions. You're the one that had the poll.
Oh,
But
that's right.
yeah, what do you have?
All right, so I have some questions. One, mainly people just wanted, there's a lot of people like, well, what about the fights next weekend? I'm like, we'll get to those fights next weekend when we put a podcast out about the fights next weekend. And people are like, well, what about Rob Font, Jose Aldo? I'm like, again, people. But one I got, and I really liked it, was Yair Max Holloway fight. After that, what takeaways did I see from that fight? And then where does that Yair in the division? And then how do I think Max stands up against Volkanovski for the trilogy? And one, I'm assuming Max will probably, have the trilogy fight, but I'm hoping he doesn't, because I'm really hoping to slide Zombie up in there to get that title fight. But that probably isn't going to happen. Zombie's probably going to need another fight. He'll probably have, I would assume, so Max already fought Yair and Ortega. Those are the only 2 people above Zombie. Volkanovski has already fought Ortega and Max. So now, I think maybe Zombie fights Yair again, or Brian again, or Max again. I don't know. And then
Didn't
fights
somebody
the
just win?
champion.
And didn't somebody just win? And they said that, oh, the next fight should be with Zombie. I could have sworn I just.
Oh, I don't know if that was. It could have been Max, but I think they're going to give Max Max a title shot. So I hope Max doesn't get a title shot, because I would like Zombie to have that title shot. I would assume Max is going to get the title shot, but it's really it's not even really jammed up. It's, you got Ortega, you've got Yair, you've got Max, and you've got Zombie. Zombie's the only one who hasn't fought Volkanovski. Well, I guess if everybody has kind of fought everybody in there, I would like to see Zombie get that. I don't think he will, and I think he'll have to fight either the loser of Max Volkanovski trilogy, and then that will get him in title contention if he wins, or Ortega or Yair again. What do you think on that?
Well, I'm just seeing the comments. Max Volk 3 all pass. Yeah, I kind of feel the same way. Great fight. I'm glad we had those 2, but I'm kind of glad. I hope that ship has sailed. It's time to see something new. It's like, when the Cavs and the Warriors were in the finals every year, we just, all right, let's get something new.
Yeah, I'm over it too. I'm over it on a fan level and on a personal level. But if they don't, if Max isn't the next guy, who's the next guy? Yair's coming off a loss. Ortega's coming off a loss. Would Max fight Zombie, and then the winner of that?
Hey, is Topuria the same division?
Yes.
All right, Topuria is next. That's who it is.
No, Topuria is fighting Evloev.
Oh, that's right. Jeez, what a great fight that is.
Right? Honestly, I love that it's a great fight, but I almost hate that those 2 are going against each other, because one of them has to lose.
It reminds me of McKinney and Ziam last weekend, which I'm almost glad got canceled.
Why? You just didn't want to see one of them lose?
I don't want to see one of them lose. I like them so much, both of them. Yeah, I think both of them have the skills to be a talent.
I think Topuria and Evloev is going to be a great fight. But honestly, Max is probably the number 1 contender at this point. Zombie's coming off an injury. I don't know. I mean, I thought Max won that second fight. I thought the first fight was close. I thought Max won the second fight. So people were asking, what did I think about the trilogy fight? I think honestly, the second fight, you just get some better judges, and we have a new champion.
I think so too. But like we said, Volk is actually one of the most underrated people. The intellect on him, and just even making a fight close with Max. There's not a lot of people that make close fights with Max. We got a question on Ryan Hall and Derrick Minner.
Are the two of them fighting?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh! Like that's.
I already know your answer, but let's hear.
Yeah, there is no question. There is no. Take away the question mark on whatever question that is. What was the actual question?
Any thoughts on Ryan Hall, Derrick Minner?
I mean, Derrick Minner's a jiu-jitsu specialist, and he has nothing compared to Ryan Hall. I don't think he has the striking. I don't think he has the wrestling. That said, maybe he doesn't even get submitted. Maybe he can defend the submission for a little while. But I think Ryan Hall is just a little bit too crafty.
I totally agree. You know, the fight actually reminds me of what we just watched. Like you have Michael Chiesa versus Sean Brady. It's a matchup of something that that's their whole claim to fame is the grappling. And then you get Sean Brady, who's so phenomenal at grappling. Like what is his path to victory there? I mean, how does Derrick Minner win other than, catching him early and being younger? I don't know how that one goes. You're one of the best jiu-jitsu guys.
Does he sprawl and brawl? I mean, is he just not afraid of Ryan Hall's jiu-jitsu? Doesn't think he'll get submitted? And then does he beat him up standing?
Yeah, but that's the frustrating part with Ryan Hall. And, since his last fight with Topuria, that's always my gauge is like fighting Ryan Hall is so different than fighting anybody else. Like it's hard to it's hard to judge and gauge him, right?
Yeah, and Minner's no IQ specialist, just in terms of fight IQ. He's not a world beater. I think he can fall into Ryan Hall's game pretty quickly. But then I don't even know, maybe Ryan Hall doesn't submit him, but he Haneyayas him and just finds his way on top, controls a position long enough, and that's the fight. But I don't really see Minner getting Ryan Hall out of there.
Truth be told, that's what I think too. Now we have a question on Fiziev and Riddell.
Oh my gosh. So first of all, hold off people on all the questions for next week. We will get to those next week. But before, I will touch on this because I love this fight. I love this fight. Riddell is the real deal. I was actually shocked at what he did to Drew Dober. I thought Dober was going to win that fight. I thought Dober would have had enough defensive wrestling. I thought he was going to be the better striker right there. And man, I was just wrong. Riddell was just solid. That was solid. Who is it? They have a common opponent. One of the guy that spinning back kicked Fiziev, knocked him out.
Oh, yeah, that Magomed Mustafayev or whatever.
Yeah. And Riddell beat him by decision. I mean, I think that was probably. I don't think that would happen with Fiziev if they fought again. He got caught early. I think right now, well, even if with watching tape, I don't know that I'll touch that. I think that's going to be a really close fight.
That one you just have to sit and enjoy.
Yep. I will watch tape, and maybe after watching tape, I'll say, okay, I feel this way or I feel that way about it. Initially, I don't even want to touch that fight, and I just want to watch it. I want to enjoy it. I want to drink a beer. I want to do a shot every time somebody gets almost knocked out. That's my thought on that fight right now.
Well, I think I'm cool. If you're cool with this, just doing the first look. Like we're not doing our official picks or anything like this for next week, but just it's fun to kind of chat up some of the fights coming up. Somebody in the comments just pointed out Brendan Allen, which I am super excited about.
You're big on him, yeah.
I love Brendan, and tell me, I'm the only one. I was screaming from the rooftops in his last fight about Brendan Allen against Puna. Everybody was on Puna, and he was supposed to fight Brad Tavares coming up. Tavares just pulled out, was supposed to fight Roman Dolidze. I think he washes both of those guys.
Yeah. Does he have a new opponent yet?
Yes, and now it's going to break my heart again. So his new opponent is Chris Curtis.
Oh, really? That's interesting. Yeah, I don't. It's funny. I think Curtis was just about to come over and do camp with. Eric Anders, and then he ended up not because he got that fight.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I think I still don't think that fight is super competitive. I think Brendan Allen is so good, but I'm very happy for Chris Curtis. I think he's an awesome
Yeah,
guy and he's a really good fighter.
I like him. Yeah, we were talking about bringing Chris Curtis in or Fabio Charant, and Chris Curtis got booked, so he ended up not coming out. So we have Fabio over there with us helping Eric Anders, along with a few
Oh,
other guys as well.
Fabio's
So,
out here. Okay.
and Fabio, man, I mean, he fights at 205, 185. He's like 10 feet tall and 500 pounds. That dude is huge. Like, he makes Eric Anders look like a child, and he makes me look.
We're getting a lot of questions on Hamzat Chimaev.
Man, what do you want to know? I mean, that guy
Well,
is, I love him.
did you see his wrestling match with Jack Hermanson?
No, I didn't. How'd that go?
I don't know if somebody can fill us in on how it went. All I saw was an incredible throw. I think I saw Hermanson going for a takedown, and then Chimaev just did a lateral drop and tossed him on his head. And I think he won the match, obviously, because.
Okay.
But I've heard a lot of people asking if he's legit and kind of downplaying him. What do you think? Is he legit?
I think he's absolutely legit. I think there's two things here, though. Okay, people are like, "Oh, is he legit? Is he legit?" Um, yeah, he's absolutely legit. People are like, "Oh, he should be fighting for the title," but calm down. He can be legit and not be ready for a title yet. We need him to actually fight somebody who's legitimately in the top 10. He fights a Wonder Boy. He fights a Neil Magny. He fights somebody like that, inches his way up. Then, okay, he beats a couple of those guys, one of those guys. Then does he fight a Gilbert Burns, a Masvidal, a Leon Edwards? Those guys are all in line and they're waiting. Like, you can't just jump the line. There are people ahead of you. I love Chimaev. I think he's phenomenal. I love his attitude. I love his wrestling. He is absolutely legit. I think he needs to fight a little bit better competition. He has not fought high level competition. Even his last opponent was by far, I think, his toughest fight, and he threw him around. But that was not. I mean, he was no world beater.
No, definitely not. But I didn't think it was going to happen like that. It's how he's beating these people, which is so insane.
Yeah, I agree 100%. I thought that was going to be a much tougher fight. And the way that he did it was very impressive. And now you got to take a stab at somebody who's a little bit tougher and a little bit tougher and a little bit tougher. I think he's absolutely legit. Now we just got to see him fight better competition.
Okay, I was chatting with Zach A in the comments here. He wants to know he wants to know your opinions on Chris Gritzmacher versus Claudio Puelles.
Well, Gritzmacher is tough, man. I think probably the only time I've ever been knocked out in my life was when Grits kneed me in the face while we were play sparring, and I was just trying to show overhands to give him a look. He decided that he was over like drilling and just kneed me right in the face hard. Sent me down. I don't know if I was knocked out.
I will
down.
never forget Grits boxing with Camuela and then him just throwing head kicks. He was like, I'm getting beat up. Let's just start throwing head kicks.
Well, not only did he throw a head kick afterwards, I was like, Grits, dude, we're just boxing. He goes, no, it's cool. It's cool. I'm like, no, it's not cool. We're boxing and you're throwing head kicks. Like, I mean, Grits is tough. He's gritty. I mean, that's his nickname, and his head movement is good. He's in your face. I love how he plays with the hands. I mean, he's a little older now too. He's 35, and he's slowed down significantly. I don't know that he's training with really, really high level people these days. I don't know. I don't. I like Grits. I think if he can wear on you, he's good. But he has a hard time beating people who are really dynamic. He Ramos took him down, choked him out in the first round. Alex Hernandez.
I took him down and choked him out in the first round a lot. So
yeah, probably.
That's my worry. We talked about Puelles. Remember, you were so high on Jordan Levitt, and that was when Camuela was fighting. And I said, no, I think Puelles is going to win. I think he's going to win. I think that's the worst style for Grits is somebody who's going to take him down and jiu-jitsu him for 3 rounds. He's
I
at
think you're right.
Sanford full time. He's been there for a few years. I think I like Puelas a lot there, and no hate towards Grits or anything like that. I just think it's a bad matchup for him.
Yeah, I think somebody who can put Grits on his back is kind of an easier stylistic matchup for him.
Hey guys, just to touch on Fiziev, I think I like Fiziev there. I actually might bet that fight. I think if he's having that close of a fight with Drew Dober, I can only imagine what Fiziev's going to do with how clean and technical and beautiful Fiziev is. He does everything right.
So it's
Let's see.
funny that you say that, because I was actually thinking how close Fiziev's fight with Bobby Green just was. And that is what kind of made me think the opposite.
But Bobby Green's not a normal fighter. Like he's like a Ryan.
No,
he's my Ryan Hall.
Yeah, he's not at all.
He's
But
Ryan Hall.
Fiziev started, I mean, it's been a little bit since I've seen that, but didn't he fade kind of hard in that third round? Or am I crazy here? It's been, like I said, it's been a minute. Just
you are 100% right. But when you're throwing the way that he was throwing, I can't even believe he made it till the third round.
Yeah, and that's what worries me about him and Rydell is I don't think Rydell is going to gas out like that, and I think Rydell is a little bit more physical than Bobby Green, and I think he's I don't think he's going to gas. That's actually what worries me about it, because Drew Dober's a tough dude who will be right in your face the whole time as well, and he met him, head on, and that was a solid fight. And Dober has some good wins. Like I said, the way that Fiziev fight ended made me teeter on the side of whether I want to pick him or not.
I will take him every day of the week. To me, a fight with Bobby Green is just not a normal fight. We have somebody asking, they're thinking about joining an MMA gym. Any gear that they need or tips for getting started?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of stuff. I mean, first of all, what is their goal? Do you know? I mean, ask them really quickly what their goal is, what they're trying to do. If they're just trying to show up and train, are they looking to be fighters? I mean, those are all different things. And the biggest tip would be find a good reputable gym in your area. But again, it depends on goals. Are you looking for jiu-jitsu? Are you looking for fitness? Are you looking to compete? You want to make sure that you're not in a karate school cultish type of situation where you're just paying dues, hoping to get belted and kind of going through the motions. That's the biggest thing I would say is if you're not looking to compete and you're just looking to show up and have fun, find a place that you enjoy. Find a place, look at reviews, look at Yelp reviews, look at the gyms in your area. You probably know if they're reputable or not just by the name value. I know in our area in Phoenix, you could easily Google some of the gyms. And the biggest thing is just make sure that it's affordable and make sure that you enjoy it.
What's so funny is when I started on my journey, I did that with every single gym I had ever been to, except for you. Weirdly enough, I only came over because Joe Gomez said, "Yeah, I trained with this guy Santino. He's my coach," and that was pre-fight ready, pre-everything.
And you just came over, yeah. I mean, if you know people who train, ask them, get their recommendations, talk with people in the community. The biggest thing is you want to make sure that you're at a place that you enjoy, a place where the instructors don't just that you're not a dollar sign to them, that they actually enjoy being there. A lot of places will give you deals to sign up the day that you show up. I would suggest not doing that. Go to a couple different places, try as many classes as they'll let you try, get to know as many people, ask as many questions. Don't be obnoxious. Don't tell people you're a badass. Just show up, shut up, and just check the place out, and then see which one feels best for you.
And what you're saying is really important. Just a little background, guys. When I came over, I would competing jiu-jitsu. I was ranked number 1 in the world at the time, and I came to the gym thinking I was the most badass person ever. I could submit everybody, and I got wrecked by a dirty white trash hillbilly Johnny Mac. Just mopped the floor with me.
Don't call Johnny Mac white trash. Johnny Mac's the man.
Oh, I love Johnny Mac. I'm just messing. No, but he mopped the floor with me. So don't have an ego. Be willing to learn. Be excited about it. Next question. Let's see. We got one here. Clayton Carpenter. Do we know him? Yes, we know him.
Yeah. Yep. Clayton is very good. He's a talented young fighter.
He's got a tough fight coming up.
Who's he fighting?
He's fighting Rodney Kealoha. He's fighting one of the Hawaiians.
Okay. Hawaiians are always going to be tough, always going to have bad cardio, not necessarily jiu-jitsu guys.
Yeah, which makes that an interesting fight, because if there's one weakness I think that Clayton has, maybe it's he doesn't love to be hit. He's a great grappler. He's got good cardio. He's good everywhere else. That kid will hit him.
And that's like his I believe it's his only loss as a junior, Cortez, who he couldn't take down and who was okay fighting standing punch for punch. That was a long time ago. I think Clayton's probably gotten a lot better, a lot tougher. He's been over at the lab for a long time. So he's going to take some rounds of hard sparring.
Clayton moved down to the correct weight class. He was not a 35er. He's small like I am. He should be a 25er.
Yep, you're absolutely right. I think he's got a good career in front of him.
Yeah, excited. Those fights are actually here in Arizona, so that's super exciting. We got Ray fighting on the card. Who else?
We have Eric Fimbres.
Oh, pro debut. That's so
pro
funny.
Debut for Eric Fimbres. 6'6". He's gone years without fighting because everybody pulls out. He has had, I think, 6-8 people pre-COVID over the course of a year pulled out, 2 of whom pulled out after Eric was already on the scale weighing in. One of them, he flew to Chicago to fight, and the guy pulled out. I mean, this guy,
that was with me.
I was with you. Yep. Chicago card. So we've got a couple of people there. Christian Natividad was going to fight on that card as well, but he ended up getting injured, tweaked his knee. So he is out.
Who was he supposed to fight?
I don't even know that there was an opponent set. They sent a few different opponents that were options, but he ended up tweaking his knee. So we were like, it's too close. The knee's, he can't really do much with it.
Okay. Let's see. What else we got? Opinion about Matt Brown and Clay Guida returning to the cage.
Stop. I think, man, I just think, I don't know if this is on the UFC. I don't know if this is on Friends and Family. I don't know where the line is. Clay Guida, not so much. Clay Guida is still doing okay. He's still competitive. He still seems, like I think he should retire on a personal note. I think he should probably be done. He's older. He doesn't need to be fighting anymore. But Matt Brown has sustained some damage. And I think Matt Brown needs to be done. I think, he's in his 40s.
He did win his last fight.
He did win his last fight against another guy who shouldn't have been fighting either.
Diego's only like 32.
Yeah, no, I know. But I mean, you get these guys. Who did he fight before that? With the mutton chops, tall, 6'3" kickboxer.
Let's see, Matt Brown. Is he 11-7? No, that's not him.
No, he's got to have more fights than that. But he just, man, these guys are old. These guys are old. Stop. I mean, I don't know how many guys that I started. I'm 39, so I had my first fight in 2000. So many of the guys who I run into who started fighting at that age and were fighting for a long time, I mean, sound punch drunk. I mean, people are slurring their words, can barely formulate a sentence, and that was before they ever started fighting. Now they're fighting for 20 years, and you could tell things. The brain is not meant to be rattled around in its skull as much as it is, and I think Brown is one of the many that should probably hang it up.
I totally agree with you, but his last few fights, so he beat Diego Lima. He lost a decision to Carlos Condit, and then he did get KO'd by Miguel Baeza after rocking Baeza. And then he beat Ben Sanders.
That's what I was thinking.
Sanchez.
Yep, Ben Saunders. Yep. And he's fighting these older guys. So at least he's fighting Diego. He's fighting Ben Saunders.
Oh, my God. Do you know who
Carlos
he's fighting?
Condit. I saw it. Who? I saw
Bryan Barberena.
Bryan Barberena. You're right. That's right. But Bryan Barberena has quite a few losses recently as well. I think he's 1-3 in his last 4. So he's not exactly just starching people this day either. So
bad matchups for him, but that was a bad matchup. His last one, I actually called that Jason Witt over him. He beat Anthony Ivy the fight before that, lost to Randy Brown, and Luke A beat Ellenberger. That's a throwback. Ellenberger.
Ellenberger, man, we haven't heard that name in a long time. It's been quite a while.
Let's see. Joe Midas. Joe, we love helping you out. I hope you made money. I don't know if I told you on the live stream, Yanez and Brady. I thought I did. I like those guys. Let's see. If you could place one or more future bets on who will be champion in 2022, who would you put your money on? Who do you think's a future champ 2022?
Man, who's not already a champ? Gosh, at 170, I don't think anyone's beating Usman anytime soon. At 55, Machkov. Man, I think Machkov could possibly be in that running. I think 55.
Who's the 55 champ?
Poirier right now. No. Charles Oliveira.
Oliveira. Okay.
Right. Oliveira can't beat Machkov.
How so?
I mean, you think so?
Yeah, absolutely. I think he's got a shot to beat anybody.
Yeah, I mean, you love Oliveira.
I love Oliveira, but if you really look at him, his striking is so beautiful and so clean. And then if Machkov is going to take him down, he's very comfortable there. Not that he should stay there, but he's comfortable and he's got great fight IQ.
You know, so he does have good fight IQ. He is very tough. He has quit in him. We've seen that, and Machkov will pull the quit out. You know, we've seen it earlier in his career. He's definitely toughened up, but I think I could see Machkov being a champion at 45. And we were just talking about Topuria, Evloev.
I love Topuria, yeah.
Those guys. 35, I mean, Peter Yan, I don't see anybody beating him anytime soon. Who's 25? We have Davidson Figueiredo running.
He's going to win the championship.
He's going to win the championship right there. He's running camp with us. Was just working with him today. He just got back into town yesterday. And then who do we have at the heavier weights? Anybody up and coming that is just exciting right now? Chimaev.
If you guys think about it, drop it down there so we could see, because I can't think of all these people off the top of my head.
You have all of the people, but Machkov's the kind of the front runner of anybody in my mind of who's going to be champ within the next year.
Yeah, that's a good call. I actually think Poirier is the worst matchup for Oliveira, but then I think Machkov is a horrible matchup for Poirier.
For Poirier, yes. We also have Jon Jones over there with us right now, who is going up to heavyweight. How do you think he's going to fare against the heavyweight guys?
Somebody just put Ankalaev. I agree with that 100%. That guy is phenomenal. Chimaev, yeah, he's really good.
Chimaev, I'm not sold on, just in the sense of, I think he's phenomenal. I just want to see him fight somebody who can actually wrestle before we start deciding if he's going to beat all of these wrestlers or not. Let's have him fight.
I would love to see him get that Leon fight.
Yeah, Leon. See, even Leon. I would like to see him fight a Gilbert Burns at some point, a Colby Covington at some point. One of these guys with a wrestling background, a Sean Brady. Let him fight Sean Brady and mix it up a little bit and get in and see who can. Sean Brady's cage wrestling was phenomenal. I mean, that cage wrestling was phenomenal. Him with his wrestling and Chimaev's wrestling style, that would make for a really fun grappling fight. I think it would. Maybe one of them would just dominate the other one, but I think that would be a solid grappling affair.
Unfortunately, so this is I fell in love with Sean Brady way too late. For the people that are in here for the betting and stuff, Sean Brady is one of those guys. Like, if you heard me add to my pretend list, I would add Sean Brady onto the pretend list. But unfortunately, the problem for him is he just beat the number 6 guy in the world. So now he has to go up from here. And I think he might be a little too slow and a little too basic to beat that top 5. But if he could stay fighting these guys that are in the 10 to 15 range, I think he beats so many people, and we can keep making money on him for a long, long time. So on the flip side, then now we have Pat Sabatini, who's still coming up. They're still building him. Beautiful cage wrestling. He's gritty. He finds ways to win. We're going to be able to bet on him for at least a few more fights.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think the guys I think Brady is either going to fight these top guys, or the guys who are going to want to fight him coming up are going to be bad matchups for Brady going, oh, I like that matchup. That's the best fight for me to break into the top 10.
Yeah, he's so damn good. Let's see. Somebody else was saying, how many more fights until Alex Pereira versus Izzy? What
I
are your
mean,
thoughts on Pereira?
man, I think Pereira is good, but I mean, I don't think we should even be talking about Alex Pereira and Izzy. He beat him in kickboxing. I get that. That's like saying Ben Askren. You want to know what that is? That is, gosh, what was it? Who's the guy that Cormier fought? Pat Cummings. He's like, oh, I beat him in
Oh
wrestling or
yeah.
something like that. And it's like, and then in a fight, he just gets starched and murdered. Like, just because you beat somebody in a wrestling match doesn't mean that you should be able to fight them as champion. Izzy is champion. Hey, look, I want to see that fight as much as anybody because I like the the stylistic matchup. We want to see good kickboxing fights. I love it. But man, Pereira, it's his first fight in the UFC. He's got to earn his stripes, man. He's got to fight people. I'm not sure we'll ever see that because I think Pereira will probably get taken down and submitted at some point by a decent wrestler before he even finds his way to Izzy. Maybe as Izzy's kind of already lost the title and on his way back down, maybe they put that together in 2 years, but I don't think we see that for a title. Maybe we do. Maybe Pereira will show that he can defend the takedown and get to those ranks. But Izzy quit kickboxing early to start his MMA career. Pereira, I don't know how old he is, but I mean, they fought a while ago, and Izzy has been dominant in the UFC for a while.
Okay, let me ask this because this when I was taping this, right, I told everybody, I said, okay, the UFC is setting him up to win. This is like the best fight they could possibly put on for him. The guy, I didn't even know he was a black belt apparently, but it was still a good fight for Pereira. I knew he was going to win easy. What makes, I was asking you this about Terrence Crawford. What makes Pereira so good? Because when I'm watching him on film, he looks like his bones are made of like dinosaur fossils. He just looks like old and just rigid. He's slow as they can be. He keeps his hands low. He's not like moving his head. He does like nothing right. And somehow he wins every single fight. What makes him so good?
Well, it's what makes anyone good. Look at Tyrone Spong. You watch that guy on pads. I mean, he hits hard and he's dynamic. He's athletic, but he doesn't look super clean. Look at gosh, who's a white kid from Cleveland or from Youngstown, boxer? Hell,
Billy Joe?
No. It's the thing that people don't realize with fighting is a lot of it outside of cardio, okay, is just being able to fight under the bright lights, and that's what people don't get is everybody wants to see. I mean, we know so many guys in the gym who are phenomenal in the gym, and those are not the guys who become champions. It's you got to be able to perform. You've got to be able to perform. It's fight IQ and being comfortable in there when somebody else is not as comfortable as you. I think that's the biggest factor. We've seen it so much with champions and former champions that I've seen come into the gym. None of them are the most technical. They just have a fight in them that you can't teach. You can't teach fight. You can't teach fight IQ. I tell fighters all the time, I can teach you how to punch and a kick and how to shoot a takedown and how to submit somebody, but I can't teach you how to fight. That's on you. And that's the same thing. Like what made Cal Sanderson the best wrestler in the room? Everybody else had access to the same coaching, the same training partners, the same weight room, the same plan, but Cal Sanderson is Cal Sanderson. And that's it. It's an it factor that none of us can talk about or put our finger on. It's there's something innate in champions that other people don't have.
Okay, is this going to be a hot take? I see I'm sorry, Oliveira. Wait, is that who? Alex Pereira. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Alex Pereira. I see him getting knocked out in the UFC, like within the next few fights.
We see that a lot in MMA when kickboxers come in. They're used to bigger gloves, covering higher, shelling up, and they're not used to somebody. Look at the best example of it ever in the history of our sport is Crow Cop and Kevin Randleman. Fake a shot, come up with a big left hook. Crow Cop was fucking Crow Cop. He was Crow Cop. And Kevin Randleman, I don't even think knew how to throw a punch, but it didn't stop him from knocking Crow Cop out cold. And in MMA, there are so many factors and so much stuff that can go wrong And it wouldn't shock me in the least to see somebody just duck their head and loop some overhands and watch Pineda fall down.
Well, we've seen it with Gokhan Saki. I remember you actually called this way before it happened. You said if Joanna Jędrzejczyk loses, this is when she was champion at the time, she's going to get knocked out. And we're like, you're so crazy. And then she got knocked out.
Yeah, I mean, you just see those things happen. I mean, it's the better striker doesn't always win, especially with 4-ounce gloves. And I see it all the time. People are comfortable with 12-ounce gloves, 10-ounce gloves, 14, 16-ounce boxing gloves. Man, people will take a shot. You'll put your head in, your hands are up, you can do it. Those 4-ounce gloves, it's like getting hit with an elbow or a knee for the first time. I remember, I was just talking about this the other day. The very first time I ever got elbowed in the face in a fight, I was like, why would you do that? Like, what? Like, that hurt. Like, it was, my whole mouth went numb. Like, he elbowed me right here. And like everything was numb all of a sudden. It was just such a hard, jarring feeling. That wasn't like we're engaged in a competition. That was like somebody is trying to hurt me. And those 4-ounce gloves aren't far from that.
Yeah, they're saying they're going to feed him some crash dummies. I totally agree, but I just, the way that he fights with his hands just at his hips and being as slow as he is, sometimes I know he's got crazy power. I'm just thinking my eyes are not going to lie to me forever. Eventually he's going to get tagged and he's going to get put to sleep because he's even yesterday sparring, right? We were going pretty light. You know, this is real life. I just shelled up with those big gloves on. I was like, go ahead and hit me. Like nothing's going to happen to me. But when we have the MMA gloves on, it's just life is so different. Now I'm shooting because I'm scared I'm going to get hit. And it's
right?
Just so
they
different.
hit differently. They hit differently. And
sorry, go ahead. We have a question on Dan Murray or Dan Moret.
Okay. Dan Moret is fighting. Yep.
Have you started looking at his opponent at all?
Well, I have, of course. He's fighting next week. Which opponent are we talking about? Because I corner Dan, I train Dan. He just recently had his opponent pull out. So we
is that Ricardo Sexias just pulled out?
Yes, he's out. So we have a replacement. I don't know if it's been announced yet. We've agreed to it, but I like the matchup. It's tough guy, tough name. People know him. Hopefully that'll be released in the next day or so.
Okay, well then, guys, you heard it here first. That is, go share with your friends. We break news on this podcast. Ricardo Sexias is out.
Yep, and I like the matchup. I like the new matchup with the opponent. It's a bigger name, and I think it does a little bit more for us.
I love Dan. Just without even knowing him very well. He's tough. He's in your face. He does everything well. He makes good decisions. I think he's going to be a handful for a lot of people.
And he's more than anything, he's just mean. He's just a mean son of a bitch. He's a mean, grimy, grindy son of a bitch.
I said hi to him. He don't even look at me. So I know what you mean.
I just said he's a mean son of a bitch. Not only in the cage, but outside of the cage. He won't talk to you. He doesn't even talk to me.
Just spits on your shoes every time he sees you.
That's it. Nah, Dan's a great guy, but I think he's going to do well in his fight, and I like the matchup. So,
all right.
Any other questions?
I think, I say, well, last few questions, guys. We got practice. I'm going to start heading out for sparring. I think I got allergies yesterday. I came home and went to sleep at 9:00, and I felt like so sick all day. I just had COVID. I should be good now.
Delta variant.
Jeez, I guess. How many times can I get it? What other questions, guys? Anybody? Hey, I just want to I want to talk about really quick. I know a lot of you guys came from the Lock of the Night feed, and I was jumping on when you were actually on it the other night. And this one guy for like an hour and a half straight would not stop talking about Ciryl Gane. Every comment was Ciryl Gane, and it wasn't like, hey, I think Ciryl Gane's good, or what's the breakdown on the fight? It was like Ciryl Gane steps through with a thrustful, powerful knee and tucks his solar plexus. And it was just hilarious. I just could not stop laughing at this guy. So we need to get some people like that in the chat.
Yeah, we need
Somebody
to get some creepers on here. Well, awesome, guys. We appreciate it. If there's any other questions, let us know. Besides that, we will get a podcast out. I don't even know if you call these podcasts, they're vlogs. but we do podcast them as well. Well, how do you classify this? Is it just a video, a podcast, a vlog?
We're doing it all. We're doing it all. So a couple things. Let's touch on a couple more questions. We can run through these really quick.
Okay.
Let's see. Somebody said gambling strategy perspective. Are either of you familiar with the concept of round robin when betting dogs? Joe, I don't know. If I find a dog that I like, and I actually think I have a phenomenal percentage with underdogs, I put them with my favorite bets, like my 2 favorites or my 3 favorites, whatever it is. I just will put them in a separate parlay. I'll go small on it, and I put them with my favorites. I don't like a ton of strategies and stuff like that. Question: do you see Aldo being champion again?
No, nope, I don't. I think his cardio is not there. That's one of the things. I mean, that he's phenomenal these days. He used to have phenomenal cardio, and I think the game has passed him by. I think what made him dangerous has passed him by, which was those leg kicks and mixing it up. And I mean, the guys who are in running for the division, I think have already beaten him. I don't see it happening.
I totally agree. And what's sad is he is the best in every area. You're not going to ever take him down. He's defensively a master. He's phenomenal everywhere. And weirdly enough, I just can't see him ever being champion again. And he's not even that old.
It comes to age. You know, once you hit a certain age, man, I don't know if it's testosterone level or what, but that killer instinct goes away. And without the killer instinct to finish people and without the cardio to outlast them, where do you fit in?
Let's see. Sad you left off Jiri off the future champs in 2022. I could see, I mean, they're obviously going to give Glover Jiri next. I see him winning that fight. I don't like Jiri very much. I don't like how he fights. He gets rocked in every single fight. Just like people are talking with Max Holloway, it's only a matter of time before that chin goes, and then it's going to be a very sad decline for him, unfortunately.
I like Jiri. I like watching him fight. He's entertaining. I think he's kind of stiff, and I think he runs into punches that are going to get him in trouble. Very dynamic in that division, and but that division's weird. I also didn't see Glover winning it. I mean, did you?
Yeah,
I mean,
crazy.
I did not see him winning that. I thought Yan would defend those takedowns and bust him up. So crazier stuff has happened, especially at that. It seems like a division where the old guys reign. Supreme. Like the older guys there are just dominating it. Slower guys that aren't the traditional world beaters that you would expect.
He just he is so fun to watch. Being entertained by him is different than wanting to put money behind him.
Exactly, absolutely. Be entertained by him. I'm not sure I would bet money on him.
Let's see. Chris Curtis thoughts, no longer the underdog. Well, that's great, Raw. I love me some Brendan Allen. I would slam that with everything that I have. Aldo's unbeatable in 3-round fights. I would agree with that. He's very good. Glover finishes Jiri after the first. He gets, let's see. I don't see much else. Oh, one last thing. So we have advice on betting Polish MMA this weekend, FEN 37. I did not know there was any fights, so I will have something to get to work on now. Hopefully I can get a book that has it. Polish fighters are so interesting because they all are horrible. They're just, it's weird that different countries, you watch the way their bodies move. The UK fighters, when I was looking at Cage Warriors, man, all those guys are just like so strong. They have cardio for days. They're phenomenal strikers, and their wrestling's getting good. I could not even call it. But the Polish fighters, they all just hit really hard, but they're so floppy and just the way their body works. It's just weird.
It's almost like I think it's their traditional background is more of a judo grappling based background. I think jiu-jitsu and cage wrestling are a little bit newer there, and I just don't think they have the minutes cage wrestling and really MMA-ing it that some of the other countries have. It's kind of like what we were talking about the Chinese PI the other day. I think there's some good fighters out of there. I just don't think they have the minutes to really understand the game as well as they need to be successful in the UFC.
Yeah, Gamrot's by far the best that's ever come out of there, but he's training in America with the top guys. Let's see. Did some tape studying on Morono as an anchor next weekend. He's fighting Mickey Gall. Guys, you're not going to like this answer. I don't like Morono. Again, I think his days are limited. And I do like Mickey Gall. I called it in his last fight. Nobody believed me. Mickey Gall ended up winning and dominating. I think he's getting better. And Morono's old. I kind of like Mickey Gall there. I probably won't bet it, though.
Yeah, I got to see. Mickey Gall had an adrenaline dump badly. Was that against Diego? Gosh, no.
Yeah, I think it
Was it
was.
Diego where he mauled him and then he really got beat up? And I think I don't remember if it was Diego or not, but a few fights ago he looked really good, then had an adrenaline dump. I think he's going to address that adrenaline, that kind of pacing issue, and I don't think he's as much of a walkover as people think.
He's so long, and I actually watched the CM Punk fight, which I know is not a great fight to watch, but Mickey looks good. He's mean, he's aggressive, he's long, he's big body, jiu-jitsu's slick. I think he's just getting better. All right. I think that'll do. Let's get to sparring.
All right. Well, we will see you guys later. We will get you something end, probably on Tuesday. Our standard release day is on Tuesday or early Wednesday. I think we're going to try and get them out earlier on Tuesday, though. The way YouTube's algorithm hits, it's kind of messing up our videos when I post them overnight. So I'm going to post it Tuesday morning. So morning,
I think we do have an
late
announcement
afternoon.
too. So I have been running a Telegram chat for a while, guys. I think we're going to move everything over to Patreon. I think instead of running it how I was, with like tips every week, I think we're making an announcement. We're kind of fixing it now, but we're going to just do a Patreon. If you want all of our insights, I do breakdowns on every fight in the Telegram. I don't want to deal with it like, hey, can I get in? Can I get in? You can just go sign up. We'll both do breakdowns. We'll put out content, podcast early. So we're working on the details of that right now.
Yeah, and we have a lot of stuff that we're going to release on that. And some of the stuff actually, so we have different tiers, of course, with Patreon. Of course, we're going to keep doing the live videos like we do for free. We're going to keep doing the UFC breakdowns for free like we do every day, just as usual. But then we're also going to do a separate video detailing some of the smaller shows, the Bellators, all of that. Like Brandon said, the picks. We're going to have some behind the scenes fight footage, or not fight footage as much as behind the scene gym footage of me and the different fighters that I train, some stuff there. And for some sign up bonuses, I've got a lot of UFC fight kits. These are things that I get for going in the corner of fighters. I mean, I have fight kits from Henry Cejudo, Tracy Cortez, Korean Zombie, different things like that. And I'm going to be giving some of these fight kit jackets away. Kind of raffle them off to some of the first few people that come in, some other UFC stuff as well. So we will keep you guys posted. We always appreciate the support. You guys are awesome. And I'm really happy that we have such a good community. Generally, all the comments and stuff are really, really respectful. And I love the dialogue that everybody gives us. So, appreciate it. We always appreciate all your support, and we'll see you guys soon.
All right. Thanks, guys.